Title: Snowfall of Two Hearts. My name is Althea Lysander, and I still remember the night the world changed forever. It was late autumn, just weeks before Christmas, when my older sister, Seraphine, passed away. She had always been the brightest star in our family, kind, gentle, the one who remembered every birthday, every quiet dream, every fear we never dared say aloud. She died suddenly, after a short illness that gave us no time to prepare. One day she laughed with me under the golden trees. The next, the house fell silent as winter. I remember sitting on the floor outside her room, clutching her favorite scarf, unable to breathe. My parents wept in the kitchen. The walls themselves seemed to mourn. After the funeral, life continued, but it was a different life. The remaining three of us learned to move through the house as though we were walking around an invisible chair that Seraphine once occupied. Each evening, my father lit a candle by her photograph. My mother whispered prayers before bed. I tried to be strong, but grief is a river, quiet, endless, always pulling. That December, my parents and I made a strange decision. We would spend Christmas in Rosehollow, a small mountain town Seraphine had always wanted to visit. She had clipped a picture of it from a magazine years ago, a town covered in pine, with golden lights and crisp snow. She said one day she would go there and sing carols in the square. Now we were going in her place. We arrived on Christmas Eve. The whole town shimmered under a blanket of snow, as if someone had gently shaken a snow globe and set it on a table. The air smelled like cinnamon and pine. The frozen river near our cabin sparkled, and the church bells rang softly in the distance. Inside the cabin, warmth embraced us. A fire crackled. There were handmade stockings hung by the hearth, even though it was only a rented place. A note sat on the table. "May this season bring you peace. The Willoughbys." It felt like a quiet blessing. That evening we roasted a small turkey, though none of us were sure we could eat. But when the plates were set and the candles lit, something shifted, almost like Seraphine pulled up a chair. My mother smiled through tears. My father told stories about Seraphine's childhood mischief, how she once decorated the dog in tinsel and made him the Star of Bethlehem. We laughed, we cried, and we kept talking, long into the night. Outside, snow fell steadily, as gentle as a hand resting on a shoulder. The next morning, Christmas Day, I woke early. The world outside sparkled blue and silver. I wrapped myself in a sweater and walked to the frozen river. There, near the bank, stood a tall young man with auburn hair and dark eyes. He wore an old coat, patched at the elbows, and held a lantern that glowed like a small star. "Cold morning," he said gently. "Yes," I replied. "Beautiful, though." He nodded. "Everything beautiful hurts, I think." I didn't know if he meant the snow or life itself. He introduced himself as Arden Valerius, a rare name that sounded like it belonged to a storybook hero. I told him my family was visiting in Seraphine's memory. His eyes softened with understanding. "My little brother passed 2 years ago," he said quietly, "at Christmas." Grief recognized grief. In that moment, it felt like our souls bowed to each other. Arden showed me his favorite path through the pines. Sunlight filtered through the branches. The snow underfoot whispered. As we walked, he told me how he still set a place for his brother each year, how he lit a lantern by the river, believing souls followed the light home. I pressed my hand to my heart. "I think my sister would like that." He smiled. "Perhaps they meet, wherever they are." That night, Arden invited my family to a small Christmas gathering at his home. We hesitated, still unsure how to celebrate, but something in his voice felt honest and gentle, like Seraphine's. His house was old, but full of life. Wreaths on every window, paper stars dangling from the ceiling. His mother, Evadne, welcomed us with warm cider and soft hugs. We sang carols around the piano. Some voices were strong, some trembled. All of them felt real. During Silent Night, my mother pressed her face into her hands and wept. But for the first time, her tears felt like healing instead of drowning. Arden brought out a small wooden box. "These are memory candles," he said. "Each year we write a name on one and share a story. He offered the box to me. My hand shook as I wrote my sister's name, Seraphine Lysander. When I lit the candle, the flame trembled, then burned steady. I told them about how she loved to braid flowers into my hair, how she dreamed of singing in Rosehollow's town square, how she believed love was the only true language in the world. No one interrupted, no one rushed me. They simply listened, like her story mattered. In that warm room, surrounded by strangers who felt like family, I felt something I hadn't since autumn. Peace. The following morning, my family walked into the town square. A choir was gathering to sing. Someone recognized Seraphine's candle frame in my hand and asked if we would like to place it among the others. We set it down in the snow, under the great pine tree. The candles glowed like tiny suns. The choir began, soft, then full. I closed my eyes, and I imagined her voice among them, clear, bright, fearless. Then something happened. A breeze swept through, light as a whisper. Snowflakes danced in a spiral around the candles. For the briefest moment, I smelled her perfume, wild jasmine and winter air. My mother gasped. My father froze. We all felt it. Not sadness, presence. As if Seraphine had found her way to Rosehollow at last. That evening, Arden and I walked again by the river. Lanterns glowed one by one along the bank, their reflections trembling like stars. "Do you think they're together?" I asked. "Our loved ones?" He looked up at the quiet, endless sky. "I think love always finds its way home," he said. I felt warmth spread through me, not fire, but the gentle glow of hope. I thought of Seraphine's dreams, her laughter, her bright soul dancing among the pine trees. As we stood in silence, Arden reached for my hand, not to claim it, but to share the moment. His touch was steady, human, kind, and I understood. Grief does not end, but it changes. It softens. It teaches us how precious love truly is. This Christmas, I lost a sister, but I gained a family in Rosehollow, and perhaps, just perhaps, something more. The world still hurts sometimes, but it also sings, and somewhere, under the quiet snowfall, I feel Seraphine smiling, free, radiant, eternal, finally home.